Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sonic Multiverse. Today is the exciting return of What If Tails Became Infinite. If you aren't caught up in the series, I would recommend you watch my definitive playlist for What If Tails Became Infinite. But with all that out of the way, let's jump right in. Silver and Blaze were in shock and awe of their mysterious savior. The mysterious masked figure looked down at the fallen Shadow. She was waiting for any sign of movement, but it appeared as if Shadow the Hedgehog had been defeated once and for all. She quietly said something inaudible to her fallen opponent, when suddenly Silver raced over eagerly. "Wow, you took him out with one hit! That's amazing, ma'am!" The mysterious warrior didn't respond. She simply tugged her mask closer to her face. Was it something I said? Let me take it from here, Silver. Greetings, I am Blaze, Princess of the Soul Dimension. May I ask who you are? The warrior remained quiet for but a moment. Whisper. Oh, sorry, were we being too loud? I believe that is her name, Silver. Oh. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Whisper. Without your assistance, I fear we may have been in some tough water. It wasn't anything that amazing. Silver perked up. Are you kidding? You were amazing with that thing. I was in trouble, but you jumped in and saved me like a guardian angel. Whisper tilted her mask slightly to the side. I'm happy I could be of help. Blaze glanced at Whisper's weapon. It was a Wispon. Are you part of the Resistance? No. I work solo these days. As if to correct her false statement, a series of wisps flew out from her coat. They began to speak to her in their native tongue. What? No, look, when I work with you, that's different, but... Look, I'm not ready for a team yet. Though Silver and Blaze couldn't understand the aliens, it seemed as if the Wisp were in favor of the team-up. Look, I understand. I used to be the same way. I felt I needed to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. But I learned it's good to keep company you can rely on. If you want to stay here, that's fine. But if we are going to defeat Robotnik, we need to work together. Whisper glanced at her weapon and to her wisp, before sighing and stating, Okay, I'll come with you for one mission. Cool! That's great. Okay, come on, that death egg won't destroy itself. As Silver flew off into the distance, the girls were left alone. Whisper was silent. Blaze thought she knew what Whisper was thinking. I know he can be a bit much, but you grow to love his naivete. Come on, let's keep up. With that, the princess took off at fiery speeds, and Whisper followed with her hover wisp. Elsewhere, Sonic was racing around Soliana in search of Tails. Come on. The commander said he should be around here somewhere. Sonic raced around the castle ruin several times in hopes of finding some secret entrance to an Eggman laboratory. Come on! He's gotta be here somewhere. Sonic! The familiar voice of Amy Rose caught Sonic's attention. Sonic, will you please slow down? You left me and Gadget all the way on South Island. Sonic merely paused for a moment before racing around the ruins once more in search of something, anything, that could give him a hint to where Eggman's base is. Seeing that he wasn't going to listen to reason, Amy took out her hammer and smashed it into the ground. The shockwave felt as if it had shooken the entire kingdom, and as such, she had finally gotten Sonic's full attention. Look, Amy, it's great to see you again, but right now, I need to find Eggman and put an end to this war quick. I get that, but Sonic, you just spent 6 months on the Death Egg. You need to give yourself time to recover. I don't have time, Amy. Please, do it for me. At least give yourself a second to... A second? Amy, I don't have a second to spare. When I hesitate, people get hurt. And I'll be damned if I let that happen again. So you can either keep up or you can get out of my... Amy gave a soft but firm smack. Ames, I'm sorry, but you have to listen to me. Nobody expects you to be perfect. Nobody. You don't have to carry this weight alone. You have friends that can help you. I can help you. You just need to slow down and let us. Even if you feel like you need to face this, you don't have to do it alone. Tails wouldn't want you to do this alone. Sonic paused for a moment. You always know what to say, Amy. Amy approached slowly. Yeah, I try my best. She went in for a hug. Sonic let it happen. You know I still have to find him, right? I know, but I'm here to help you. So, don't feel like you have to take the burden alone. Thanks, Ames. Besides, between the two of us, I know where he actually is. Wait, you do? Yep, the commander gave us further information. You would have known about it too if he didn't run off. Point taken. Now, let's go help Blaze and Silver. If you can keep up, that is. A race then? Fine, I'll give you a head start. As Amy took off, Sonic took a deep breath before exhaling, all of his confidence disappearing with it. He wasn't sure what he would say when he finally met Tails again. Elsewhere, Silver lifted his teammates high into the air towards the Death Egg. To their surprise, there was very little security left. It appeared Shadow had been their main source of defense. I guess a full frontal assault wouldn't have been a bad idea. We still don't know what's aboard that ship, Silver. When we get there, we move through the shadows. Right. Come on, you two. Let's do this. Once aboard the Death Egg, the trio found that the base was surprisingly understaffed. However, they made sure to silently dispatch any robots they did come across, just to be sure. Eventually, they made their way to the main laboratory. All right, we can use the computers here to overload the reactor and destroy this Death Egg from the inside out. All right, let's do this. Whisper, can you watch the door? Got it. The wolf took up a sniping position from the ventilation shaft as the cat and hedgehog ventured deeper into the laboratory and could hear a voice in the distance. Commander Orbot, collect all the remaining Phantom Ruby prototypes slated for destruction. Of course, Infinite. But why do you need them? Well, the doctor has given me orders to personally oversee their disposal. Strange. I wasn't informed of this. I'll call the boss and be sure... Are you questioning my authority, Commander? No, sir. I'll get to that right away. Good help is so hard to find. Wouldn't you agree, Princess? The pair of heroes were caught off guard, but took up defensive positions. Tails, stand down. I'm really getting tired of people calling me that. But I must admit, your combined skills at the chemical plant were mildly impressive. So I'll give you this one chance. Join our empire. I have big plans, and I'm sure Lord Eggman will forgive your transgressions in the past. We'd never work for Eggman. But you can still come back with us, Tails. The fox gritted his teeth. The name is Infinite. If you will not join me, then I'm afraid I'll have to. Before the fox could complete his thought, Sonic the Hedgehog raced into the room, followed closely by Amy Rose. Tails, please, listen to us. We're here for you. Fascinating. Seems Sonic has escaped. I take it you two hot-wired an egg pod to get here? Yeah, I know a thing or two about planes. Don't you remember? You, me, the tornado? Don't you remember any of that? Infinite paused for a moment. I haven't the foggiest clue of whatever you're talking about, nor do I care. I am Infinite, and you are all enemies of the Eggman Empire. Now, I would enjoy ripping the four of you apart, but sadly I'm on a tight schedule today, so instead one of my lackeys will do it in my place. Infinite's mask suddenly clamped shut. Witness the ultimate power. The quartet of heroes were suddenly blinded by a red flash of light. As their eyes readjusted, a black and crimson figure stood in front of them. Now, rebels, I really must be going. Shadow, give them my best. As the fox quickly warped away, the shadowy figure stared down the rebels in front of him. As the grim sentinel began to charge up a chaos spear in his right palm, the heroes knew this was going to be a hard-fought... The black hedgehog stumbled backwards. It glared down at its stomach, where a gaping hole was now found. Without uttering a word, Shadow collapsed to the ground, dead. The quartet looked back to see who was responsible for this, only to see Whisper, who had finished off their former friend. Her face was completely obscured by her mask, but judging by the way she was fiddling with her weapon, it was clear she wasn't done with Shadow. You're staying dead this time. Before anyone could react, she charged forward, activated her blue cube, and slammed her warhammer down onto Shadow's body, over and over again. Every booming thud was met with the cracking of bones. Shadow was completely unrecognizable, but Whisper still wasn't satisfied. She continued to slam her weapon into the ground, even after the Wisp-On abilities had ceased. She didn't even notice the weapon itself begin to break. All she cared about was making sure that Shadow suffered. She only stopped as she felt herself become weightless. Silver, using his psychokinesis, suspended her in the air. Guardian Angel! Whisper! Please, stop! He's down! The wolf's mask began to slip off as she began muttering to herself. No, let me go. He can't get back up. Not again. Listen, lady, I'm not Shadow's biggest fan right now, but you need to cool it. Cool it? That monster! He took everything from me! Is that so? The gang turned to see none other than another Shadow? The gang were dumbfounded. How could there be two Shadows? And more pressingly, who was the real one? With everyone's attention stolen, Whisper, being the strategist she was, saw an opportunity and broke free from Silver's control. I don't know what's going on, or what the hell you are. I don't care. You're going to pay for everything. As the wolf marched closer and closer to Shadow, the ultimate life form stared her directly in the eyes and felt as if he was looking into a mirror. I know that look. You lost someone, didn't you? You don't get to ask. I know the feeling. It's cold, numb, as if your world was shattering. I know what it's like to lose someone you care for. Don't pretend to understand. They were everything I had. Whisper pulled out a photograph, holding it to Shadow's face. Slinger, Claire, Mimic, Smitty. They were my family. And you killed them. And you can't even remember? I promise you, it wasn't me. I can't trust you. I don't know if you're real, and I don't care. I'll kill every one of you. until all of you shadows are dead, and this pain is finally gone. Whisper raised her weapon. The heroes were about to jump in, but Shadow raised his palm, as if to tell them to stand down. If you believe killing me, all of me, will make the pain go away, you can take the shot. But I truly am sorry for what happened. Whisper stood there for a moment, gun still trained on Shadow. Then, she dropped her weapon. She fell to the ground, and finally took off her mask. As tears began to stream down her face, months of pent-up rage and sorrow finally were let out. As Whisper's walls finally began to collapse, she muttered out 2 words. I'm sorry. It's all right. I know better than most that grief could be a very powerful motivator. After recollecting themselves, the 6 heroes made their way to the main core of the Death Egg. As they approached, Amy spoke up. So, Shadow, where have you been the last 6 months? Well, before this all began, I was trying to find Sonic to inform him of what happened to Tails. It seemed Eggman got to him first. So for the last 6 months, I've been traveling the globe, destroying Eggman outposts, and, well, now I'm here. That sounds so lonely. Why didn't you ever come to the Resistance? We could have helped you. Be honest with me, Commander Rose. Would you have believed me after what my double did? After the innocents he slaughtered? Amy didn't get a chance to respond as they arrived at the core. The heroes discovered what had been powering this Death Egg. 2 Chaos Emeralds, the yellow and the silver one. Yet, just like the blue emerald Silver had, the emerald's color was faded and their energy signal felt different. But that wasn't the most interesting thing they'd find in the room. It turned out this Death Egg had been used for experiments Eggman didn't want the public to know about. The Resistance members looked through the computer and came across a peculiar file. Hey, has anyone here ever heard of the Phantom Ruby? And this is where we'll be ending this What If for right now. So, what do you think of the episode? Where do you think the story will go from here? And were you expecting Whisper's backstory to be different in this timeline? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'm ComicFan13, and I hope you have a good day.